one time I did this girl I knew had this problem where there was a dead dog stuck in her car. And she called me up, and I told the story of me saving the day with this dead. You want me to tell that one? Okay, this gal I knew, she called me up, and I told this whole story on the air, only I told it sort of backed by the Nelson Riddle Orchestra doing the theme song from the original movie Lolita. It is a song called Lolita Ya Ya, and it was just instrumental. But you know, it was like all these young girls going, yeah, 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 yeah. And I'm telling a story about the dead dog, you know, with Lolita Ya Ya playing in the background. And this girl called me up and said, you know, like, well, I got this problem. I said, well, what kind of problem? I said, well, I don't want to talk about it. Well, you got to talk about it if you want me to help you out. I was like, okay, well, I got this girl. She's going from Colorado to, and she stopped through St. Louis, and she's going to St. Joe, Missouri. She's like taking her dog and this other dog that belongs to some people from Colorado who live in Colorado. Now they live in St. Joe, Missouri, but they had to leave their dog behind. So now she's transporting the dog to St. Joe, Missouri, and she's come through St. Louis, and she came through, and at night last night she brought her dog, and she came inside with her dog, but she left the other people's dog out in the car. Well, you know those thunderstorms we had last night? Well, this is an old dog from Colorado, and I guess he wasn't used to thunderstorms, because when we came out, we think he died of a heart attack or something, that he had curled himself up into a ball on the floor on the driver's side of the footwell there. And by the time we got him, rigor mortis had set in, and he's like perfectly fit to that space, and we can't get him out of the car. You've got to help us, because she can't drive to St. Joe with a dead dog so that she can't touch her pedals, you know? So I'm like, okay, take care, you know, and I'm like Harvey Keitel from Pulp Fiction. I'm the cleanup guy, you know, and like they were doing construction here at the station at the time, and like I stopped by here and I got a pair of work gloves and I got a respirator, you know, and I went over there, you know, and I was like, put on my work gloves and my respirator, and there was this dog, you know, sure as hell, it's just like frozen in this spot, yeah, 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 in the background, you know, and like and the dog was hard as anything, hard as a rock, you know, and like his teeth were like frozen, you know, so his teeth, he's baring his teeth, and like I grabbed the dog by his tail, and like I like yanked it out, and man, it just went, you know, like a sore lid that somebody just threw it, you know, and it flattened out, you know, and yeah, 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 in the background, and we had to get 2 trash bags to put the dog in, and we had to take it somewhere, you know. So like there was like this dog pound, and there was a dumpster behind the dog pound. So like we drove it over there, yeah, 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 in the background, and we like dumped the dog into the dumpster, and that was it. That's how I saved the day, and you might not believe this, but like there are some people, some liberal people with money, who are very upset that I told that story in that way. They thought that I was advocating the murder of dogs or something. And I swear, I believe this. Had I told the same story about a child, it would have been okay. But it was the fact that it was a dog that died. And I guess they were thinking that I killed the dog. I didn't kill the dog. I was like, I was just hired on as dog removal, you know. But I told the story on the air. And we don't have advertising, we have underwriting, where like organizations or whatever have a message, and they just say this portion of the program is underwritten by the Jones Society, you know, who try to save little babies, you know, and we have that rather than advertising. Well, this woman got people to pull some eco groups pulled their underwriting from the station because I told that story, and the woman who's in charge here was not amused with me, you know. She kept going, you knew what you were doing. I was just telling a story, you know. And she's going like with Lolita, yeah, 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 playing in the background. You were just telling a story. I think not, but I'm still here. But I remain being ever vigilant. Now, whenever there's an animal that dies, I don't talk about it. I might imply it, you know. I may mention it in passing that an animal died, but I never let on as to any involvement from me.